and welcome to the Cancer Journey podcast. I'm Alicia.
And I'm Shariann.
So, today we're going to be talking about what dreaming looks like with cancer. But before we get into that, let's get grounded. So, Shariann, will you start Pesh for us?
Yes. So physically, I'm a 4. Emotionally, I am a 4.3. Spirit is a 4.6. And hope is a 4.6. And my word for this moment is present.
Okay. I am a 4.4, emotionally a 4.65. um, Spirit is 4.4, Hope is 4.3, and my word is connection. So, as I
Okay.
said, we're gonna be talking about dreaming when you have cancer, which to many people, especially those who have had cancer in their lives, are like, "What are you talking about?" Like that feels like the antithesis of being on a cancer journey. Like, what do you mean I get to dream? And we get that a lot. We
Yes.
talk about dreaming and the possibilities and what that is, and to a lot of people that immediately turns them off.
I mean, they think it's frivolous. I'm fighting for my life. What are you talking about? I'm not going to waste my time on this dreaming. Which, if this sounds like anything that you've ever heard when you were younger, it's like, don't do that daydreaming thing. It's useless. But dreaming is so important.
Actually, I think that it does more harm for ourselves to shut that down and shut it out of ourselves. Because as people, we dream at night, we daydream, like those dreams, those visions, those um visions, yeah, those desires, they come up for us as just human beings who want, who need, who crave things. Like it comes from a very emotional place too, because sometimes it is kind of a representation of what we deeply want. And so sometimes to even know what we want or deeply need that we're not getting, we need to be able to have that idea of what a dream is and what it feels like to then communicate what we want. It's not nearly as frivolous. And when we shut it down for ourselves, we shut ourselves down and we start to see this journey of cancer much more negatively and without the possibility of hope and future.
Yes, I mean, I can't help but think of that saying, a dream is a wish your heart makes, or that your heart makes. Because we're tapping into our spirit, our soul, our that essence of us that wants something. And when we shut that down, going, no, I have to be practical, I have to be tactical, it's like, whoa, are we losing the essence of what makes us this human being, this uh, rich, yummy, wanting, dreaming, creating being that we are? And then when we stop listening to what our heart wants, kind of stop living.
Yeah. And it's also creating your the space you're in, like it is fine and great to be present. We absolutely support being present. Like we don't think we have to bring everything from our past with us and live in the past. We don't think you should only live for the future, but to have a vision, an idea of what you want. It doesn't have to be concrete, and it can be as simple as I want to live in the future. Like I would like to live and have, you know, as you've said at the end of, like, not the end, as you said along your cancer journey, so one of the things that you kept with you is I want to be a mom to my kids. And to be able to have that, even that as a dream, helps you, some would say, fight for your life to have that, but it just gives you the energy and the essence of like, I want to continue because I have things in the future that I want to hold. I have impacts that I want to make. And that can start now.
Yeah. It was for me, let me just make this a little personal. It was that being the mother, being the nurturer, being the teacher even of these things that I love so completely. It wasn't just, well, I loved loving you and my kids, but it's more than that. It was like, oh, I want to be that impetus for them to be these brilliant, well-adjusted, contributing entities where they're feeling like I matter and I have meaning in life. And so I want to take us back to the kind of like the reason we dream. And so if we kind of do a, timeout, I'm not dreaming anymore. I just want to make it to the end of my treatment so that I know that I can live, or I can dream then. It's so important to dream all along the way. Again, it comes from our heart. But when I take us back to when we were little kids and we were dreaming, we got to actually start experiencing it. The moment that we're having these mind movies or these pictures in our mind, it's like when you're planning a vacation and the vacation actually starts the moment that you're envisioning it, that you're imagining yourself on this. And so that brings like living to the present moment of I'm living this life and I'm doing things that make me happy, that brings me joy, that makes me feel like I'm a contributing human, that I matter. And that it stems from the dream.
Yeah. Oh, what's also like resonating with me is that to allow yourself to dream is to allow yourself to feel, and to acknowledge that there are going to be a lot of emotions that come up with dreaming. Yes, you're actually so welcome to be like, dreaming is hard because it can be painful because I don't know what the future actually holds. I don't know if that's something that I can actually attain. And the dream is not necessarily about getting it. It's not about having exactly what that is in the way that you envision and desperately may want it to be, but even that recognition that it might not pan out the way that you expected, or the recognition that there's joy there that I want. We've talked about this in a past episode, but to envision what you want helps you make it real. um, and so to have this insight to what you want and see it from all these different angles, even that pessimism that comes with it, that may feel really natural, so then also acknowledge that there's another perspective, is like, wow, I am a very well-rounded human with all of these different emotions that are all completely valid. Cancer journey is not like stick to your positivity and you'll be fine. It's like, no, let's acknowledge every single emotion that comes along on this journey, because it's all here for me. It's all real for me, and it all culminates in who I am deeply. And the more in tune with who I am there, the more likely I am able to get the things that I want and live a life that is fulfilling for me.
Oh, right on. Because dreaming is so personal. And I mean, there are dreams that are put on to us. Like for me, it was like the American dream. And cancer gave me permission to go, whoa, 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 whoa. I did it the way that was prescribed to me. The family, the home, the job. It's like I did that all. And uh-oh, here comes cancer. So what's the message here? And it was exactly what you're saying. I was not listening to my emotions. I wasn't listening to myself, where it had to scream. This is for me and my situation, but it was screaming at me through the cancer. That was my body going, are you not hearing us? We're not living the dream life that I wanted. Yeah, it was great to have a family and all that structure, but what I really wanted was, I mean, bottom line, just to love. in any expression that I wanted to. And what I didn't know is I really wanted to love me. So it was always this outward expression, right? It was like, oh, well, I'll do that for that person and I'll do this. But really dreaming, it's like, can I have joy? Can I have abundance of love? Can I have purpose? The only person who could give that to me was me. And so if I dreamed of what would give me those, then it felt selfish. And I know we've talked about this before too, but cancer took that performance and kind of, it's another P word, posturing or whatever. It was performing to be that American dream versus the Shariann dream. What was that? And when I couldn't pretend anymore or I couldn't perform, it was like, I'm so raw. This is really what matters to me. I could be like, come here. Can you just sit with me and cuddle? Can we actually not talk? Because I don't have the energy for that. But can we just be connected and maybe hook arms and watch this movie? It's like, what is it that I really wanted? And yes, I need to give that to myself too, but it felt really yummy to say, this is what I want, which is kind of me loving me, and then asking for someone to participate in that loving.
Yeah. Oh, how does that feel to like it felt like an aha, you know, and it's a beautiful thing to share too, but like how does it feel now with that recognition? Because I think that so many people don't, you know, I don't always do that recognition of like, you know, how do I dream to love myself? Um,
Think that, well, actually, I don't think. I know that cancer gave me that gift, and I know people, cancer is not a gift. But if I can go into what it actually gave me, it gave me the permission that I could not give myself because it was always like, what could I accomplish? Or what can I get done? And what can I do for others? Where I had to focus on me because nobody could tell the doctors what I was feeling inside. And when people would say, what do you need or what do you want? I had to be able to articulate that. I don't think I've ever had people ask me, what do you need? What do you want? So much than during a cancer journey. And then I know that I've heard this from so many other cancer individuals. It's like we feel special because there's these people who are willing to give us what we want and need. That when that goes away, because we finished treatment and now we're given um, no evidence of disease, they these people who were making us feel special are gone, and all of a sudden we're like, well, I want to feel that way again. But we forget that it was because we gave ourselves permission to ask for what we want. That doesn't mean that doesn't go away just because people go away. It's like if I can't give it to myself, I can find somebody who can help me.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I agree that cancer is a gift. It's also not a gift, you know, like it can play both. It's a blessing and a curse. So let's put that on the table too. um
Yes.
and also, yeah, with the like it's funny because I've had this conversation a lot very specifically with like hairdressers with people when they like go get their hair or their nails done, I guess too. I guess it's more widely felt when people get their hair cut and they're doing something that you don't like and you're just like because you don't want to say anything. That is the time to speak up. That's a great time to practice say asking for what you want. But with cancer it becomes so sometimes it is because someone has the experience of cancer that they are then put into the spotlight in that way that you're saying and then are able to articulate what they want. um, and unfortunately sometimes it feels like to learn that and to have that experience cancer helps kickstart it, to be there with you. And so dreaming becomes really, really, it almost feels like you dream more. when you have a
Yes.
cancer journey, you know? And so it becomes really hard to ignore. And so the more we suppress it in ourselves and be like, well, now you really can't dream. Now that, you feel limited is like, it feels really incongruent to me. Like that is so misaligned because this is a time when you finally have a moment to slow down and look back to yourself because in the grand scheme of things for you personally during a cancer journey, you are all that really matters. What you are able to do, like really, and what you want, they all come together so that you can really tune in. And so when we don't let ourselves and we push it away entirely, it's such a disservice and it becomes so heavy. And so, I mean, again, it's not easy to just be like, all right, I'm gonna dream then. And to figure out how that comes up for you. So as we dawn into a new year, and we're often thinking about what are your New Year's resolutions, what are your new intentions, what do you want to hold for this new year? We, no matter how you name it, going into new year, it becomes a new perspective. We know that there's a shift, that there's a change, and possibly energy, excitement that goes along with it. So we like to recognize that here at the Cancer Journey Institute as well. And as we say that dreaming is so important for people who are on a cancer journey, we want to help facilitate that and hold people's hand through it because that negative ego voice, I assume it's the negative ego voice that's going, you can't dream, you have cancer. Like, let's be there with you so that we can move past that voice and give it its loudspeaker when it's warranted, but really to be able to give you the opportunity to keep moving past it. You can hear it all you want, but you don't have to listen to it. You don't have to do what it says, and we get to help you move forward with that. So we have our tool called Dream Goals. You can call them goals, you can call them whatever you want, but it holds your hand through this process and lets you have the time to figure out what's next for you, what
Right.
your dream is.
And it's whew, when people hear the words goals, they either go, "Okay, I'm embracing this," or they run for the hills. I mean, it's really it's that polarizing. What I like to say is that our version of goal setting is all based on this. And we call them dream goals because it's about dreaming. And you were talking about listening to our emotions. And I almost hold like dreaming in this way, not the nightmare dreams that you get at night or the weird dreams you get at night, but the dreams, the conscious heart dreams that just kind of sit here sometimes without and we hold them so dear and quiet, it wants to come out and be said. And because you're raw during a cancer journey, it's a little bit easier to tap into them. I mean, because they could be small little ones like, I just want to spend the next 2 hours playing with my dog. That's it. That brings me peace, calm, joy, and delight. So it's these heart whispers that we want to capture and get into. Sometimes they're the genesis of them are when you were little and you were playing and it was fun and life just felt like unburdened and just fun. Like when I say the word fun, it's like what's fun for me? And when I say play, I'm like, when's the last time you played? I mean, just what comes up for me is like giggling and laughing. And these are such natural things, but that's what these dream goals mean to me. And what we're trying to tap into is like the heart desire.
Yeah.
And that just feels so yummy. So why not have this place where somebody is holding you in this luscious, desiring space where we get to speak it out loud? Like we say this every time. There's magic in the telling.
Yes. And when you do dream goals with someone else, I mean, yes, you could journal and kind of do it on your own, but there's so much that comes out when you're just having this exploration within a category that, because most of the time when someone's like, "Oh, what's your resolution? What's your whatever?" The immediate answer that tends to come to mind, because people just like blank out. It's like, I don't know. I don't know what I want to change. I don't know like where it fits in my life. I don't know how it's going to happen. That's a big one too. And dreaming isn't necessarily about the how. And so what's beautiful about the way we do it by walking with someone, you just get to like talk and explore and express and um, just process in real time with someone who is fully invested and hearing you and noticing nuances and the way you phrase things, and then is able to also um, run it back with you, so that way you can kind of hear yourself not just through their voice, but them reflecting back literally what they heard, sometimes completely verbatim, or just asking like, so this is what I got from what you said, is that true? The yes or no will guide you in any direction that you feel is most resonant with what your heart is telling you, really. Because if they say something, you're like, actually no, that's not it, they can go in another direction and help you figure out what it really is that you want and need. And so there's magic in the telling, not only because you get to unburden yourself by releasing it, but also you get to hear it reflected back to you and get clearer and clearer about, what do you really want? And get to kind of solidify that feeling. I mean, obviously, we're so big on feelings here, but like how it feels in your body tends to help you then relate to how it actually feels when it comes up for you. So by going through this process and kind of settling into what you want to feel like, what that experience that you want feels like in your body. Is it hot? Is it cold? Like when it does come up emotionally for you, there's a link there because you've already set up how you want to feel and experience that in that dream goal. So there's just so much like yumminess that comes with it. But just for me, one of the biggest things, when do we ever give ourselves the time? You don't really give yourself the time to like be with the idea of play, like, and fun and joy and recreation. Like, what does that feel like for you? Even just that question is like, huh. And to have just this amount of time to just talk about yourself, maybe it'll be a little uncomfortable at first, but you'll kind of ease into it because it's so safe. It's safe to say crazy things. You can go super far and be like, well, I don't want that. Let's pull it back. Like, that doesn't feel right out there. But I got to explore left field, and see what that was like and how that resonated with me, to then come back to something that does feel more aligned with who you are. But how often do you give that to yourself? That's what we do.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. And sometimes we do go blank, like you said. And it's not just resolutions, it's just what do you want? And all of a sudden it's like, because we don't live in that place all the time. But when you hear other people start articulating what they want, and you're like, oh, when somebody hits something that has been an heart desire that you've kind of held down, all that energy you use to hold it down and tell yourself, oh, it that yeah, I can't do that, or it's inconsequential, then it's like, oh, that person said it out loud. I really do want that. And it could be, going on a safari. It could be, oh, I want to talk about form and function, and we'll get to that at another topic. But um, it just kind of lightens everything up. That steel cage that you've held, the secret dream that gets let out, and not left out, let out, and then it's freeing, and it actually feels really good. These kind of goals that we're talking about are not the kind that we have to hold in our mind and be afraid, oh, I'm not going to ever do it. Oh, I don't want to say it because that makes me responsible for making it happen. These are heart goals that you say it and they're always there. They're always alive in our hearts if we will listen and if we let it out. And so that's why it's fun. It's like, I can say my heart's desire, and you're not going to make sure that I'm doing every single bit of it. It's like, no, it's the intention, and then it starts flowing. And it's so fun for us to see people have these goals and then come back and say, I just achieved it. This is what
Right.
it looked like. It wasn't exactly the same. It was actually better. And this is what happened. And their enthusiasm and joy and exuberance just kind of bubbles out of them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the whole process is so beautiful to be with dream goals because instead of writing a list of intentions and like putting them on your wall and saying this is what's going to happen, it feels more tangible because we have separated them out into these like different categories to hold, and because we do this investigation to get to them. It seems it may seem a little tedious in concept, but in practice it's like 10 minutes can feel like 2 seconds, really. Like it's to be able to be alive in it. And sometimes I'll be completely honest, it's not always super duper fun. Fun and recreation is like tends to be a fun one to come up with, right? But when you go to a category that feels like it's been neglected in your life,
Mhm.
there is absolute permission to have moments of tears, of sadness, of frustration, to be like, I can't believe that I neglected that so much myself, or I don't feel connected to that category at all. And to have that process of being like, I don't know. I really don't know because I am now realizing that that has never been a priority for me. So now that you're asking about it, like tightness in my chest is happening and this and that. And we have our coaches lead through all of this, right? It's not just someone who is like, it's going to be okay. It's not that. It's really someone who's like, it's okay. Like let it out, cry. Like yes, let's mourn that moment of feeling disconnected to parts of ourselves that we didn't even realize we were disconnected from. That is so fair. And let's keep going. Let's keep processing and working through it because there's something here. There's always going to be a dream or a want or a hope within each of these categories. It's there. Even if it feels really light, it's not like we're saying, shoot for the moon on these goals. Shoot for what feels real, like what you really want. And they can change. It's so flexible.
Yes.
You're such a moving human being. Your emotions will continue to move because even that recognition of, oh, I am not tuned into that little piece there, and having that sadness and just wanting something different, something happier, more connected, that can be a goal in itself. So there's just so much to discover here. I love dream goals because it really does open up the possibilities. And it starts to feel like Pandora's box a little bit. Not in a bad way. I guess Pandora's box has a bad connotation to it. It's more that once you start, so much starts to open up and then it kind of sits with you. And then the more that you zone in on it, the more you can manifest, get to that later. But the more real all of it starts to feel in you and the more connected you are to yourself. And that is my takeaway because I was just like, that's how dream goals feel. They feel so embodying of the full human you are with recognition and hope and love. So that's my takeaway. I know that you pesh first, but just gonna wrap it up with my pesh here. Physically, I feel a 4.4, emotionally a 4.7, spirits a 4.5, and hope is a 4.35. And my word is effervescent.
Love it. Okay, my takeaway is dreaming is healing. And and what we need the most when we're on a cancer journey is to feel like we are healing. I know a lot of people go, I know that humor and laughter is healing, so I'm going to try to do as much of that as I can. But we don't talk about dreaming. And that is exactly it. Talking about dreaming. It's like, let's do it. Let's hear what your heart wants to say and let it unfold in the manifestation, in saying it out loud, in writing it down, in giggling and laughing and being too much and pulling it back. It's like, let's play. So you're going to be officially invited to play with us. Pesh is physically, I'm 4.4, emotionally 4.5, spirit is 4.75, hope is 4.7, and my word is excited. Excitingly dreamy. I don't know. It just feels present. It's right
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. And honestly, I'm also excited. I'm very excited because, as we've been talking about all this, we do have our virtual event coming up for Dream Goals. And so you're invited to join us on this and see what we're talking about and get to experience it for yourself. So look out for more information on that. We will be back next week with a new episode. New episodes every Friday.
Have a lovely rest of your day. And remember, you're more powerful than you realize.